Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our /JustNoMil. In today's episode, MIL forbids us from having children. What should I do? MIL forbid us from having children. What should I do? So I've been married for a year end of this month and MIL still makes me feel unwelcome. JustNoMil went through my handbag. She's offended because we wouldn't cancel plans after she invited us an hour before her dinner. MIL is happy we lost the baby. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. MIL forbids us from having children. What should I do? This is my first one for this community, but I need some advice. So my MIL is very against me. I honestly don't know why, but she has always just hated me. I've tried everything, from thoughtful gifts to making an effort to spend time with her. Nothing has worked. I even let her help me with my wedding and she took over the show and I left it alone, just to make her happy. But still, she just does not like me. A few months ago MIL crossed the line and I don't know what to do. She practically forbid DH and I from having kids. DH thinks she might have been joking, but I don't think she was. She seemed serious when she spoke to me. Anyway, this is what happened. I was sitting in the car with MIL and she and I were talking, while we waited for DL and DH to join us. We chatted about stupid things like work, and then all of a sudden she looks me dead in the eyes and says in a very stern and cold voice, "You and DH may not have kids, I don't want you to." This stunned the hell out of me, because for one, who does she think she is saying we can't have kids? And secondly, what the hell? I did ask her why and she just said she doesn't want us having kids. She doesn't want grandchildren from me, because who knows how they'll turn out. This hurt a lot as I have really tried to be part of the DH family and now I've been told this. But now I have got some news and it's a tad bit scary to tell her, because DH and I might be expecting. Waiting the 3-month danger period to be over before we tell anyone. I'm petrified how she's going to react and I'm even more afraid of what she will do. I want to know what I should do. She really hates me and I am so worried if we tell her, she will make our lives hell. Any advice would be appropriated. Please excuse any grammar issues in this post. And when did she become a deity or something that can just decide that? Your lives, your decisions, and your MIL can fluff off. She doesn't want you to have kids? Come on, it's not for her to decide. How is your DH when it comes to his mother? Is he in the FOG? Maybe record her response when you tell her. That way nobody can make illusions about what happened. Also, consider if you want this woman in your child's life and your own, she can't respect you, whatever kind and thoughtful thing you have done for her. That's not going to change, so I suggest you drop that rope. You did what you could. Now it's time to stop with it and make sure what the boundaries are. You don't want to go and visit? Then don't go. I would advise you to save every text and voicemail in case you need it. You have a serious JustNoSo problem. I can't comment on him here, and I suggest you post on JustNoSo about that, because he should be dealing with your MIL. Having said that, drop the rope. In no reality should you be a doormat. Furthermore, she has no right whatsoever to tell you what to do. At all. Whether you are pregnant or not, you need to sort this out with your spouse. She frankly sounds dangerous with her malice openly displayed. Shine your spine, girl, and stop taking her crap. Thank you for the support. And I think I'll do just that. I've had a lot of comments to just stand up, and I really think I should put her in her place as well as snap a whip to his lack of support to me. This baby needs me and a healthy family life, regardless of how MIL feels. You guys need counseling. I've read your other comments and it seems your DH does not put you first and just gives you a whole lot of y'all with zero action. He's not standing up and defending you, and he's not taking your feelings seriously. He has no spine to be a protector for you or your children. Please think carefully on how your future children will be treated, and whether you can handle seeing them treated like crap and having your parenting and authority as their mother shit on repeatedly in front of them by your MIL. MIL forbid us from having children. What should I do? I recently posted about how my MIL forbid DH and I from having kids. A lot of commenters picked up that DH needs a spine, and that MIL is just crazy. Well, I took the amazing commenters' advice and sat down with DH. I put my foot about his mother's behavior and blatant disrespect to me. I have become a whirlwind of emotional chaos as I need to ensure everything gets sorted before LO arrives. And it will be supervised visits for MIL if anything at all. DH can tell his mother about the pregnancy alone, as I have stated I do not want to tell her or be there for her comments. She doesn't want me in the family, then she will not get to be part of my soon-to-be LO's family. DH has agreed to considering seeing someone about our issues and his mother's very boundary-pushing role in our lives. I'm glad I opened up and asked for help because I got nothing but support and amazing advice. Thank you to everyone who helped me see it wasn't wrong of me to feel scared and threatened. But I need to work on my shiny spin and get rid of anyone who doesn't impact my little family positively. Taking a stand worked and I'm going to keep on standing. Good for you. You may have to keep reinforcing with DH from time to time that you won't be taking her disrespect anymore, but that's a great first step. It took a lot for me to stand up to DH about MIL, but I was reminded that the longer I leave it, the more dangerous it can be. Great news. I would consider going in see with her for your pregnancy, just for safety reasons. MIL's become completely unhinged over babies they don't want, and I would worry she'd try something. It's a big concern of mine, as I wouldn't put it past her not to do something dangerous. Agreed to consider, so he said he'd think about it. I tell my kids that to get them to leave me alone. Actions speak louder than words, Mr. Man. Let's get that foggy ass to therapy. Good, I hope the rest of your pregnancy goes over well. Please put passwords on any and all medical information and do not tell her when your due date is / what hospital you're registering under. May DH grow spine and stand up to her once and for all. So I've been married for a year end of this month and MIL still makes me feel unwelcome. Morning all. My MIL has found yet another way to make me feel completely unwelcome. So and I have been living together for 2 years in August and been married a year end of this month. A bit of a backstory to help this make more sense. So was a heavy substance abuser when I met him. And he had been for 7 years. He was depressed, hated his life. He was unemployed and 24 years old. He also still stayed with his parents. He grew up in a very posh household. Pretty much raised with everything but didn't want anything kind of guy. I on the other hand was 19. I lived in my own flat which I could afford due to working since I was 16. I didn't have parents due to my father leaving when I was young and my mother going down a path of drug abuse. I came from a poor background and had to fight for every little thing I wanted in life. When I met my hubby, I hated my love life because I had always dated asshats. I was depressed because I couldn't share my accomplishments with anyone really. But once we met, I was hooked and so was he. We had finally found someone who understood us. In short, we were both very different people. When I started dating my husband, we spent tons of time together. He told me about his addiction and I expressed my past to him too. It was an honest relationship from the start. Anywho, I did make a very firm call in the relationship from day one. I would date him, but he had to quit drugs. He has been clean for almost 2 years now. He lives with me, pays his way and has gotten his degree and an amazing job. He has come so far in 2 years and I am very proud of him. So why on earth can't see my MIL accept me? I saved her son from the very dangerous life he lived. I've done everything to help him achieve whatever he puts his mind to, and yet she still treats me as if I'm the enemy. So and I are meant go for lunch and I decided to invite Mail and Dale on Monday and make it a family brunch. So wasn't too keen, but he agreed because she's been so lovely to me the last few days and he could see I wanted to try build a bond. For the 1000th time. At first MIL and DIL was thrilled at the idea and agreed. And then last night she tried to come up with every excuse in the book for me not to join them? I don't know why, because 2 days ago she was lovely to me and I thought maybe we were finally going to have a good relationship. Boy, was I wrong. After so, and I firmly stated that I wasn't going to sit at home on my bottom while he went out and had an amazing lunch. She finally dropped the act, agreed, and left us alone. I wake up this morning to a message from DIL and he outright says I am not welcome to join them on Monday. It make me cry because once again I don't feel welcomed. I always had a goal that when I got married I'd ensure I had a good relationship with my in-laws. As I don't have parents myself, I always thought I'd get to have a bond with a motherly figure who could help me when I was unsure. I feel shattered because I don't know what more I can do to make her accept me. I have put down all my cards and tried my best, and I work every day to be the best wife I can be to her son, and I'm still not good enough. What on earth can I do? Please, if anyone knows or has any advice, I could really use it. Well, since you invited them, I'd reply, I'm sorry to hear you don't wish to join DH and I to lunch Monday. Maybe next time. But then never invite them again. I was going to say exactly this. OP initiated the lunch and planned it. If anything, they are no longer welcome. Also, with your MIL, she was oblivious to your husband's ways before he met you and you were the one to save him. She didn't save her own son. I definitely think it's jealousy. Hi. First off, so tells them it was your idea to invite them and he's not going if you don't. Then you sit down and realize that you're worth more than the value they set for you and you won't put yourself on clearance in order for them to buy you. The fact that he changed his life when he met you should make them grateful, and yet their asses are showing. That tells you all you need to know about their attitudes. I suggest taking a step back from them, both of you, and taking that time to strengthen your bond as a couple even further. I know to some degree you and so each want to be able to have some expectations for them, but I feel like it's best for his sobriety and your sanity that you bury those expectations in the backyard, at least for now. DH cancels lunch. You drop the rope. It takes two people to build a relationship. MIL isn't interested. She could be jealous of the fact, with you by her son's side, he stopped doing drugs, got an education and is doing well in life. You accomplished what she failed at. Stop trying to connect with her. She will bring more negativity into your and DH's lives than anything else. So wait, you guys extended the invite to them? And they are trying to keep you from attending your own brunch? That's rude as hell. JustNoMil went through my handbag. We went to his parents' house this past weekend to celebrate Father's Day with his father. My FIL. Fast forward to eating and it's been an hour or passive-aggressive little quips and I'm getting edgy. We would have celebrated it so in my house, but she never behaves right at our table. She will get into arguments and screaming matches often. And break a glass almost every time we've had her over. So we prefer to come here. She doesn't break her own things. Eventually we decide to leave around 2 p.m. to go see my dad since it is Father's Day. Mil gets so upset and dramatic over us leaving. It's your dad's day, you always spend the day with him before, she keeps saying as we start to gather our things to go. I remind her that I also have a father that would like to see his children on Father's Day and we have spent most of the day here already. Then she wants so to stay behind and I go see my dad. I lose it because my dad and my so get along amazingly, sometimes even better than I get along with him. I knew my dad would be upset as so didn't come with, so I calmly explained that it was right more fair to my father that I spent most of the day here and then SO doesn't visit him. After some attempts at keeping us longer, I get upset and decide to rush so and I out of there so we can get on our way. We get to my dad's house and I realize in my hurry to get away I left my handbag at my MIL house. I call and confirm it's there. I tell her I'll come by and grab it in the morning. FFD to the next morning and I pop in around 8 a.m. MIL has gone to work so FIL hands me my bag. He has an uneasy and uncomfortable look when he hands it to me. Immediately I can see someone has rummaged through it. I'm a tad bit OCD about my handbag, so everything has its place and the way I keep it. I look inside to see chaos. All my zips are open, I always keep them closed, and the bag just looks like someone threw its contents out and put them back in. That's when I realized I had a pipe in my bag. Hubby smokes weed, so I keep it for him in a neat Ziploc bag at the bottom of my one pouch. It's not there. I call MIL and confront her about going through my personal belongings, and she flips about the pipe. She goes on about me being a druggie and her son deserves better. I lost my cool just then and threw it in her face that the pipe belonged to her son, and if she wasn't such a control freak about his choices in life, she'd know that. It shut her up instantly, and she tried to say the mints in my bag were pills. I can't help but laugh at the crazy accusation and hung up in her ear. She calls back and I don't give her a chance to speak. I told her that her pure lack of respect by going through my handbag was the last straw, and from now on we will be meeting in public areas where her behavior won't be tolerated. And in future she won't be trusted alone in our house, car, nor near my bag. I will be treating her like a child, since that's what she wants to act like. Where I grew up, a lady's handbag is private and personal. No one opens it without her consent. Even my husband, when we met, wasn't allowed to go through it. I feel terribly disrespected because I would never go through her handbag or her house drawers. And all those names she was so quick to call me, when I don't even smoke weed like my hubby. And the claims on the mints just to make it worse. Am I overreacting? Hubby thinks I am because he says it's just who she is. But I don't feel she should be allowed to act that way towards me. Edit. Thanks for all the advice. I love the support on this group. It's amazing. And to the person who gave me an award on one comment, thanks. I've never gotten one before. Hubby thinks I am because he says it's just who she is. The translation for this is, I think it would be easier to try and get you to submit to her appalling behavior than it would be for me to confront it, so I'm going to make it your problem to save me the trouble. The obvious reply is, why would I want a husband who prefers a quiet life to defending his wife? You could also ask him for a complete list of people he thinks that it's too much work to stop them being shitty to you, so you can save him the trouble of defending them later. Might just do this. This reply is so good I bookmarked it. The next time you see her, take her purse, dump the contents out, and start rooting around through it. If she gets upset, look confused and explain that your husband assured you this wasn't a big deal. Honestly, I think you should have nothing to do with her, because your husband is right, that's who she is. And who she is a walking nightmare. Why should you subject yourself to someone that is awful to their core? In your husband's own words, you have no hope of positive interaction with this woman ever. So why keep showing up for more? Believe her, she's told you who she is. My grandparents were married over 50 years, 54 to be exact. When grandma wanted grandpa to get something out of her purse, he'd bring the purse to her, for her to get out said object, even if it were a tissue, his wallet or keys, or a bit of candy. Grandpa, told me when I asked him, I was about 8 years old, that no one goes through a lady's purse for anything unless she's unconscious or dying and needs meds in the purse. Quick test for those in your life who think you're overreacting: you get an hour-ing MIL's home alone to do whatever you want, go through anything you want, take anything you want, and leave it totally messed up. If MIL or DH think that's unreasonable, then they both shut up forever about your bag and what's in it and how you feel about people rummaging through it without your permission. Let the punishment fit the crime. She's offended because we wouldn't cancel plans after she invited us an hour before her dinner. So after the handbag fiasco and me absolutely losing my shit and deciding to put my foot down, MIL has decided she can't understand why my so and I are avoiding them. If you read the previous post, I explained JustNoMil ridiculous invasion of my privacy. In the comments I did say that I decided not to have any contact that wasn't in public areas. Me and my so have kept this rule of no unnecessary contact. Only emergencies and proper reasons to see them were accepted. Today my oh so ridiculous MIL decides to invite us to dinner 1 hour before they're going to eat. She has a whole dinner party of people over and it's 6 p.m. in the afternoon on a Sunday. So and I are at a friend's 25th birthday and are enjoying getting out of the house a bit. Lo and behold, both our phones blow up with messages of her dinner party and us having to attend. Being in a fairly good mood, I decline politely and explain we've made prior arrangements and in future she should give more notice. I also pointed out that we would only see them in public settings, but the invite was appreciated. Not 2 minutes after she has read my message, she calls my so to complain that I'm being unnecessarily mean to her and complained that we won't even come to dinner that she has been cooking all afternoon. My so, being the supportive husband I know, stated that in future she should invite us sooner rather than an hour before everyone eats. Then he reminds her that we don't meet in private homes or locations due to her lack of respect towards me in the past. She rudely huffs and puffs and hangs up on my so. That's when my phone rings and it's of course a male, so when I go to a quiet spot and I picked up the phone and placed it on loudspeaker for so to hear what was said. My so has been coming out of the fog a lot since the handbag fiasco. And it's great to have his support against his lunatic mother for a change. Long story short, she goes ballistic as soon as the call connects. She starts screaming into the phone. All kinds of crazy things along the lines of "You're tearing my family apart, you're alienating my son from his mother, you're not even family to me and I wish so would divorce you." After the last one, my so simply says, "Really, Mom?" Her voice changes instantly. It's suddenly this sweet little voice as she starts to claim that she wanted to talk to me and have a girl's talk. My so is clearly not an idiot, so he hung up in her ear and we haven't seen her since. Our phones have been going wild with her calling and messaging. FIL called so off a friend's phone and had a few words with him. Apparently she's claiming I provoked her to say those things. Honestly, I don't know what to do anymore with this behavior. It's ridiculous and I can't understand it. Any thoughts on what I should do? Edit, this blew up and I'm trying to read all comments and advice. Honestly love this sub support and advice. It's great and makes me see that I'm on the right track with this crazy woman. MIL is shooting herself in her foot, so I've started just letting her do it. So and I are 2 months expecting LO and she doesn't know what she will be missing. I can't have my future baby around someone who is so toxic. Nothing. Stick to your path. You and DH did great. She is having an extinction burst, which is an adult tantrum. Stay strong. Enforce boundaries consistently. Never let those boundaries down because that will signal she can go back to old JNO behavior. You and DH have this. One suggestion: if she is screaming on the phone, tell her you are screaming. I am hanging up. I will call back later. If I ever decide to unblock her number, I'll do this. Ignore is cool. Blocking with a save for texts to document the crazy if you need legal support later. May I make a name suggestion? MILBO Handbaggins? I heard the whole thing, Dad. We already knew she was a sneak. Now we know she is also a liar. I'm tired of being humiliated by her behavior. Aren't you? So did clarify that he was the one on the other end of my phone when MIL said those things. Even sent a screenshot of my message declining her invite and proved I hadn't done anything to offend her. Great job on the boundaries. Good for you, both. But just to be sure, start recording every interaction you have with her. Stay the course. Your boundaries are reasonable. Good job, you and DH. You're doing exactly what you should be doing. She is showing her true colors in front of your hubby. Let her and keep ignoring her. MIL is happy we lost the baby. CW, trigger warning. Lose of child. Hi all, about a month ago I let my fellow Reddit users know that I was expecting a LO and family wasn't going to be aware of the LO until we had passed the danger period. Well, long story short, so when I lost the baby, got into an accident 4 days ago because of some idiot who jumped the red light. Car was totaled and rolled. Luckily so, and I came out alive. So was a bit scratched up and I'm very bruised. But sadly doctors said the trauma to my body was just too much for the baby. It was a struggle these last 2 to 3 weeks already, and I think my body just couldn't do it. We were 11 weeks in. We would have told the family our news next week Wednesday. But fate dealt us a bad hand. At first I was grateful to have not told them. I'm shattered, and so is taking it just as hard. Unfortunately, him being as upset as he is, he confided in his mother. Lo and behold, the monster-in-law strikes again. First offense was her glee in the face of our pain. She didn't give condolences or anything. She said it's for the best because we aren't ready to be parents anyways. That felt like a massive slap. Second offense was when she posted a Facebook post about the loss of her dear would-have-been grandchild. It made me sick to see. Now I'm being bombarded by family who want to know what happened and why we didn't say anything. I'm in hell, and it's all because she posted to Facebook. So when I had prepared for this situation and had agreed should anything happen to the baby we would deal and mourn as a closed team. No family needed to know of our lose. I'm defeated to the point all I could do was take out some of emotions on the awful women I have for at MIL. She is completely insensitive to how myself and so are feeling. I did make her remove the post, but it's a bit late now, everyone knows. I've cried the last 3 days and probably will for the next few. But I don't know how to react at the moment. MIL is making this whole thing a lot worse, and now everyone is in my face about the loss. And it's worse due to the fact she is glad we lost the baby but pretends to be so shattered on Facebook in front of the family. I need some advice on what my next move should be. Do I lose it with her or ignore her? I honestly don't know which to do. I want to lose it and take all the emotions I'm feeling and hurl them at her. Tear into her and leave her wishing she was sorry. But I don't know how healthy that will be for so and I right now. I feel like I've been punched and I can't find a way to control my emotions in my MIL. Any advice would be great. Edit: I might not reply on all comments, but I do read and appreciate all the advice and kind words. Thank you so very much everyone for the amazing support and advice. Honestly, make it easier for yourselves and put a single post on social media. And throw her under the bus with it. Hi all, many thanks for the sympathies on our loss that was tragically the result of the vehicle collision we were in last week. We'd like to ask for some space to grieve, so while we appreciate the love everyone is sharing, we're going to be taking some time to ourselves. We would have preferred this entire thing stayed private, but unfortunately that was taken out of our hands without our consent by someone who, while publicly mourning our loss, has told us privately she is glad we lost the baby. We hope everyone will understand why. As a result, we need some time and space right now. Much love to you all. Yes, we lost our child, we are grieving in private. We did not expect DH's mother to be ecstatically happy for our loss when DH reached out to her for comfort, nor did we expect her to tell the world about it without our express permission while playing the victim. Thank you for your thoughts, but we are not giving any information out. MIL is now out of our lives for good and will have absolutely no further information to wallow in glee over. We have asked MIL to delete her post, yet she refuses to do so. Please consider the facts that she was glad we miscarried and did not think about us one iota when she posted our very private loss before you start claiming she's a victim too. One big post to everybody: we were waiting until it was secure but didn't get there because of the accident. So now you know. This is painful for us, so we are not going to discuss it further. And regardless of Mil's sad grandma act, she said to our faces she was glad we lost the baby, so she is on a timeout until we decide to forgive her for being so horrible. Do not get sucked into contacting us in her behalf and don't pity her. Her grief is fake, ours is real. Then put your social media on private for a few months and be picky about who you let see. At a later time you might remind hubby his big mouth has contributed to your pain. I know he's hurting too, but what she said was not acceptable in polite society. If I were you, I'd comment on her post something along the lines of, "You told us you were glad we lost the baby because you thought we weren't ready to be parents, yet you post on Facebook looking for sympathy? Shame on you." If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.